stock, popularly known as DJ Waras, is now ready for pre-trial proceedings. The Johannesburg Magistrate Court heard today that investigations have been finalized in the matter involving Mozambican national Armindo Pakula and taxi boss Vincent Majola. The pair face charges linked to the murder of Stock, who was shot and killed outside the Zambezi house building in the Johannesburg CBD in December last year. Relebogile Mabotja has more.
Prosecutors argue Mozambican national Armindo Pakula is the triggerman and taxi boss Vincent Majola was the mastermind behind the fatal attack. The state has wrapped up its case and told the court it's ready to proceed with the trial. Prosecutor Vincent Muchabela says they now have all the accused details, including cell phone data and financial information.
The matter is on the roll today, Your Chief, for further investigations. Our investigations are complete and therefore should be in terms of Section 75 of the Criminal Procedure Act. State requests the matter to be transferred to the High Court. The indictments are ready, Your Chief. One has been served to the defense.
The matter has been transferred to the High Court for 18 June. Relebogile Mabotja, Eyewitness News, Johannesburg Magistrates Court.
The IEC is today launching the country's electoral program in Midrand as preparations intensify ahead of the general voter registration weekend scheduled for next month. Last month, President Cyril Ramaphosa officially announced November 4th as the date for the upcoming local government election, setting in motion the country's electoral timetable. Ngosikhona Malinga Mnisi reports.
The announcement of the election date has signaled the formal start of the campaign period, with political parties now ramping up mobilization efforts across the country. Parties have begun announcing mayoral candidates to spearhead their campaigns, especially in key metros including Johannesburg, Ekurhuleni and Tshwane, where intense contestation is expected. Today's IEC communication campaign event is aimed at demonstrating the Commission's readiness to deliver credible elections while also educating voters on key aspects of the electoral process. These include operational preparedness, critical timelines leading up to the polls, and priority information for voters and stakeholders. The event is also being attended by representatives from various political parties, underscoring the importance of cooperation and transparency in the lead up to the elections. Ngosikhona Malinga Mnisi, Eyewitness News.
And Hungary's parliament has voted to remain in the International Criminal Court, reversing a withdrawal process started last year by former Prime Minister Viktor Orban. Lawmakers voted to repeal the exit law after new Prime Minister Peter Major pledged support for the Hague-based tribunal. Orban has accused the ICC of being politically biased after it issued an arrest warrant for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over alleged war crimes in Gaza. The ICC was established to prosecute genocide, war crimes and crimes against humanity when national courts cannot or will not act. In your financials, gold is trading at $4,488.84 an ounce. The rand is 16.33 to the dollar, 21.96 to the pound, and 19.02 to the euro. Brent crude oil is $96.62 a barrel.
Kempton Park accident scene, R21 northbound before the R23 Pinoni off-ramp, causing about a 30-minute delay all the way from Atlas Road. Devland, that's heading into Eldorado Park. Bumper-to-bumper traffic on the Golden Highway between Union Avenue and the N12.
A fine Wednesday in Gauteng today, temperatures peaking at highs of between 20 and 23 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, the MPA has confirmed that Mpumalanga taxi boss Jos Banyoni and his 3 co-accused will return to court after the case against them was struck off the roll initially.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Joburg is more than just a city. It's an energy that connects us all.
That's what makes this one so special.
In 702, Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the City of Johannesburg. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
You're with Relebogile Mabotja.
Live, streaming countrywide
On the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
7 minutes after 1 o'clock. Welcome to 7:02 Afternoons with me, Relebogile Mabotja, on this 27th of May, which is a Wednesday. Looking forward to jumping into some conversations with all of you. As we have been doing on a Wednesday, it's all about hidden gems in South Africa. And I'm not going to lie, I really do love this conversation that we have because it really introduces us to so many new places. And also, all of you get to share your experiences. So share with us what makes the spots you love a hidden gem, what makes a hidden gem, and which are those hidden gems in South Africa that you're like, Relebogile, this place is so underrated. You need to tell people about it. After we chat all of that, we will jump into BBC Lifestyle Hidden Gems South Africa. We're joined by Senzelwe Mthembu as well as Linda Munich, who are influencers from the show, and they're going to be filling us in on where they went, how they became travel influencers, and also just what they loved about the place that they went to. Finance feature, we're talking Q1 2026 debt index. Why are high earners drowning in debt? This is a very important conversation. You would think the more you earn, right, that you should be clearing up your debt. But hey, more money, more problems. We'll chat about that with Benay Sager, executive head at Debt Busters. And then we jump into a masterclass. I'm so excited. We've been talking about architecture. And today, in part 2 of South African architecture, Hugh Fraser joins us again. And we will chat all about that. And remember, he is judging a competition at the moment. So he'll give us the tea and the scoop on some of the finalists and the work that he is doing there. Get in touch with us, 011 883 0702, SMS us 31702, tweet at Relebogile M at Radio 702 using the hashtag 702 Afternoons, and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702.
702 Afternoons
With Relebogile Mabotja.
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Let's talk hidden gems in South Africa and some of our favorite hidden gems. Maybe you discovered it a little bit later in life. Maybe you stumbled upon it by mistake because you were at a not hidden gem, and then you discovered a hidden gem close by. Share with us your experiences. And we also know everybody has different flavors and tastes. So some of the hidden gems might just be you going to a town for one specific spot to eat that pancake. I felt that way about Harry's Pancakes. I think in Dalstrom, that stop was for the pancake. So also share those kinds of spots where you are going somewhere for a meal, for an experience, or for an activity as well. And then share with us, what are your ultimate travel bucket list items and places to go to in South Africa that you're dreaming of? Now, when I was away in Cape Town, I had shared a video on my socials just saying to everybody, if there's anything I'm going to encourage you to do is to travel. Leave your environment, leave your comfort zone. And of course, people be like, but we don't have money. I'm like, you need to dream about it. You need to speak it into life. How will it become a reality? And sometimes it isn't the money you need. Sometimes it is the network. Sometimes it is the people. Sometimes it is a job opportunity that gets you to travel. But it is something you should be thinking about. Do not be discouraged by your financial circumstances or the fact that maybe you've never left Soweto. Did we not have a gent come through to Sandton who was like, it's his dream to see Sandton? Right? So I hope all of you can use this moment to be inspired. Some of the messages that are coming through on our Facebook, where we're asking of everyone, where in South Africa would be your dream staycation? Gershon says Margate in the South Coast. Listen, Margate is a vibe because it's also got a bit of a small town feel about it. It isn't that small town in the sense that it is quite well known, but it is a vibe. I do recall stopping by there with my dad and siblings on a trip. And all I know is I said to the waiter, I'm not drinking. And my dad said, not true. And then I don't remember what happened after that. CJ says, I saw that Iron Man's house from the movie is based in Cape Town. It would be nice to see it. Guys, you know it is. Kiko Kems Bay. You can see it. It's built, carved into the mountain. It is so beautiful. You must go through. Sia says Limpopo is their dream staycation. Guys, you know how expensive some of those resorts in Limpopo are. I'm talking 60K, 80K a night. So they're beautiful resorts there. George says Naisna. Good selection. Russ says Sabi. If you haven't been, there's Sabi River. There's Sabi Lodge. So many nice places there. Dips says East London. Debbie says Kruger National Park. I will never say no to a trip in Kruger National Park. But let's hear more from all of you. 011 883 0702 and give us a call 011 883 0702. When we come back, we talk BBC's Hidden Gem South Africa.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
How worried are you about what seems now to be a growing disquiet in South Africa around the issue of migration, particularly when it pertains to undocumented individuals from countries elsewhere on our continent?
Well, it is a worry, but also there is a protocol that the heads of state agreed to at the AU in 2018, I think, and that needs to be rectified. It's only been rectified by 4 countries. That protocol allows free movement of people within the continent. But of course, for that free movement to happen, you have to have proper documentation.
All right, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma.
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
The Buscade Soweto String Ensemble returns to the Lunda. This year's highlights include Mozart's Serenata Nocturna and Bruch's moving Call Nidre with Koketso Mpela as the cello soloist. From Brahms to Amapiano, expect a thrilling mix of classical and Afro-pop. Support one of South Africa's most inspiring arts organizations at the Lunda Auditorium on Sunday, the 19th of July at 3 p.m. Book your tickets now at Quicket.
It's that time of the year. Sore throats, congestion, wet and dry coughs, pain and fever. For trusted relief for you and your family, ask your pharmacist to recommend a winter survival pack from the Adcock Ingram OTC range. With products like Medikil A, Expigen, Corenza Paracy, Adco Napamol, Dilinct Junior and more, we have you covered this winter. Remember, Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave.
They say the early bird catches the worm. Great advice, unless you're the worm. Generic so-called wisdom doesn't work for everyone, so I settle for a financial plan that's one size fits some. Momentum accredited financial advisors take the time to get to really know your unique situation. Advice meets your context. Momentum, your journey to success. Momentum is part of Momentum Group Limited, an authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
Get the hottest 100-buck deals this week at Food Lovers Market. Buy a 750-gram pack of sticky barbecue pork loin ribs for 100 Rand. 2 2-kilogram bags of light brown sugar and a 1-kilogram pack of white sugar for 100 Rand. And 7 1.5-litre bottles of Coca-Cola Original for just 100 Rand. Valid until Sunday, 31 May, only at Food Lovers Market. It's in the experience.
Did you know the moonwalk was first performed in slippers? Now, we can't prove this fuzzy fact. But we can promise that when you show support for Slipper Day, you help fulfill dreams for children with life-threatening illnesses. And that's a fact. Do it for the dreamers and wear your slippers on Friday, 29 May. Visit reachforadream.org.za to find out more.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
We keep hearing how difficult it's been for our farmers to export. And besides all of that, they were able to really increase their figures in this period.
We have had an excellent agricultural season. The output of great quality is there. And of course, the fact that we're still fairly competitive and able to place these products in the world market at good prices, which is why you're seeing these exports and the demand that is out there for the South African agricultural products.
Wandile Seklobo is the chief economist.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Curtis is brought to you by Absa Business Banking. Today's customers expect payments to be instant, simple, and secure. And businesses that adapt stay ahead. Discover solutions built for SMEs and the future of African payments. Visit absa.co.za/business to learn more. Absa is a registered FSP.
702 Afternoons
with Relebogile Mabotja.
17 minutes after 1 o'clock. Hidden Gems South Africa continues tonight on BBC Lifestyle, DSTV channel 174, as local travel creators uncover some of South Africa's unique and lesser known destinations. So listeners can vote for their favorite hidden gem at bbcafricachannels.com/hidden gems for a chance to win a 10,000 Rand Lekker Slop voucher or the grand prize of 25,000 Rand at the end of the season. So joining us today are two of the show's gemfluencers, Senzelwe Mthembu and Linda Munich. Welcome to the both of you. How are you doing, Senzelwe?
Amazing. How are you?
I am doing well, and I'm so glad you came through looking all cute. Guys, go to YouTube. You can see where we stream live, see what she looks like. Linda, how are you doing? Welcome to the show.
Good. Thanks for having me. It's good to be back.
I know you're unwell, but we're so glad that you could join us. So I'm going to start with you, Senzelwe. How did you get into the travel content influencer space?
So I've always loved travel. I'm very lucky that I was exposed to travel through my parents. So we did a lot of family holidays and
best gift, right?
I know.
Best gift your parents can give you exposure.
Yeah, beyond what money can buy. I mean, obviously it costs them to make that happen for us, but I mean, the memories, the experiences, the lessons instilled, all the learning that you do while you travel, the people you meet, that's invaluable. And so, they've did a good one for us. I really just decided to be intentional about documenting the travel. And this also was around the time of COVID when I felt like there wasn't enough representation. I felt like I wasn't being marketed to in the travel space. And the only way to fix that was to create the content myself and feature in it.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I'm just curious, when you're mentioning traveling as a kid, did you also do the typical Durban holiday where you did mini town and then, girl?
I had an aunt in Amanzimtoti. And we would go to the beach. We would, all of it, Ushaga, everything, picnics.
What
it was amazing.
What a vibe. So you're like, I'm going to be the change I want to see by documenting the things I wish people were showing me. I love that. Linda, on your side, how did you get into the space?
Yeah, so I'm a little bit more in the, let's say, niche traveling of hiking. So I, at that stage as well, can very much relate to Zenze, where I felt that there just wasn't enough people, young people hiking in South Africa. And I decided it was something that our friend group was doing a lot. We were broke and dumb, and we decided hiking is the best.
I love that.
To do.
Yep.
So we were a bunch of students that jumped on the train of doing as many day hikes in Gauteng as we could, jumping on all of the Table Mountains and mountain ranges in the Western Cape, and then we got more into multi-day hiking. And that's really where it started. I just thought, man, we need to be documenting this more, because most of our parents hiked or traveled because they saw it somewhere in a magazine or someone told them about this place. But I just thought, man, if we can tell people more about it on social media, imagine how many more people we can see on mountains in South Africa. So yeah, that's kind of where it started, and it can't look back. It's amazing.
You're actually our second hiker that we're chatting to, and in our conversation around hidden gems, I've been hearing people share also hidden hiking spots that people can go to. So I think you're going to be the other person waving the flag for hikers and some of the cool spots that one can go to. So in terms then, Senzelwe, where were you allocated? Okay, I paused midway because I saw the facial expression. Okay, wait, before you tell me, wait, one step back. How did you feel when you got the call that, hey, we're doing this TV show, We saw you do your thing, and we're feeling it.
No, I mean, very excited. I think to be recognized. There's so many amazing travel content creators in South Africa, and we're doing amazing work, and we're all kind of doing it differently, but all contributing to the space, and we all have a genuine love for what we do for South Africa, for showcasing the beauty and diversity in South Africa. So I was really honored and truly excited and humbled to be chosen. But also just like the fact that I was going to be on BBC, you know, a TV channel that I grew up watching, found so much value and entertainment and kind of education on that channel. And just the intimacy of being in people's homes and in their living rooms, it's just different.
Why do I feel like you binge watch Come Dine With Me? I do. You do. No,
I love
knew
that
it.
show.
You have that face.
I'm not even into TV, but for that show, the commentator is amazing.
Right? What a brilliant voice artist. You must actually find him on TikTok. He posts how they record and the scripting and all of those things. Linda, in terms of yourself, when you got that phone call, what was the first thing that came to mind? Because I don't imagine that when you started doing content, you would think, I hope one day BBC Lifestyle calls me.
Yeah, no, my first thought was, oh my word, how am I going to take a whole TV crew up on a mountain?
That is so valid.
No, I just saw how we were going to lose camera gear and drones and everything on a mountain, but it was a lot less chilled, a lot less chilled. So we no, obviously also very honored and amazing crew, amazing team to be able to work with. It's really I don't think it's a lot of people can say that they actually enjoy the people that they work with, and we really had such a cool team that we worked with, and the places that we visited as well. You really just so encouraged and so motivated by the positivity of people in South Africa. So it's and I think that's what traveling does and hiking experiences does. Is you really get to meet people from all aspects of the world, all places in the world, and see just how incredibly kind and friendly they are. It's such a South African spirit.
Were you overwhelmed or surprised by the level? Because you're talking about gear and how we're getting people up a mountain. Were you surprised at what the TV production aspect is like versus what it's like when you're doing your own content?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like
You're like, somebody's doing that for me?
Yeah. No, it felt weird being on the other side of the camera without having to have my long arm be the gimbal. But I was really, it was cool to see them in action and how they move. And I mean, part of, if you have to film me, you sort of have to be fit, unfortunately. So that was a great requirement, which they made excellently. So that was good to see.
Look, shout out to the cameraman and the camera assistants and the sound operators, because not only are they doing that, they're also doing things like recording Olympics and running and crazy things as well. So yes, they have to be as fit, as crazy, and probably have longer hours than even the people on camera. Senzele, for yourself, how did you find the whole part of you're in front of the camera and, oh wow, I don't have to now put up my tripod and then walk again and hope no stranger knocks over my tripod?
Yes, or the wind if it's a phone tripod.
Yes.
It's a challenge creating content, especially on solo trips. I do a lot of solo travel. And so I'm in front of the camera, I'm behind the camera, I'm producing, I'm thinking about shots, angles, all of it. It's a lot. And you also want to be present in the moment. So shooting Hidden Gems really gave us an opportunity to just immerse ourselves and just be the guests and be curious and experience the thing and really let the places shine and showcase themselves. It really almost felt like we were just kind of a backdrop or just like that human element that brings it all to life. But the establishments really shone through in the shooting, in the filming. And it was really refreshing to just have somebody else, document it and worry.
Worry about, is it golden hour or not?
Am I in focus?
Yes.
Yeah, that was lovely. So thank you, Nico. And,
to all of the crew, a big
everyone
shout
else.
When you, just in terms of, I'm going to call it a travel personality, we get those who are like the adventure bunnies, the alarm is set for 4 a.m. I feel like Linda's one of those. We'll come to you now, Linda. What kind of a travel person are you? Are you the kind that actually likes a slow, let's see how I feel on the day? Is it this jam-packed itinerary? What kind of traveler are you?
So I used to love, and I didn't call them vacations, I called them trips because I was packing in so much. I had to see, I kind of had to see the city, and I had to see the coast, and I had to see another region all in one trip. So I've kind of grown out of that, and I'm a little bit more of a slow traveler. I'm also like, I don't know, I really just go with how I feel on the day. Do I feel like sleeping in? I'll sleep in. And another thing
Linda will be there waking you up. I just know.
Well, for a beautiful hike, Linda, I'll do it. I won't lie. I do love a hike.
We got the coffee. We have the coffee ready for you. I'll take up rusks. I'll make sure.
Oh my!
Guys,
sometimes I wake up,
yes,
and I just peek. And I just have a look at the sun rising, and I'm like, that's beautiful. Let's go back to bed.
Yeah, you see, you are my kind of girl. Because also I'll say, listen, I'm committing today. But it doesn't mean at 6 a.m, it's got an expiry time. We need to see after the fact. Linda, for yourself, are you an itinerary jam-packed adventure girly?
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to be. Part of it is when you have certain, if you have certain kilometers that you need to finish that day, or you need to get to a certain remote destination, and usually your hiking destinations are quite remote because it's not always very accessible with certain vehicles. So you have to make sure that you prepare to get there on time. I think one of my biggest friend, let's say, arguments I had was this guy wanted to sleep in on our last day of our hike, and I was like, no, we wake up at 4:00 to hike at 5:00 so that we can be done by 11 and get back to a nap and our whole finish well. And he was in bed at 5 to 5, and I think I said, I'm leaving you here. You're staying here, we're walking, and hopefully he joins us at the end. But he's also a late sleeper. But I promise, Zenze, with Relebogile, we will be a lot more kinder. We will make sure that we pamper you guys and get you up the mountain. But it's totally worth it. I think the sunrise.
Linda, the moment you said I'm a hiker, I just knew. I was like, I'm not going on holiday with Linda. She can wake up early, tell us how the hike went when she finds us at 11 o'clock waking up. Okay, we are getting so many messages coming through about the different hidden gems and dream destinations in South Africa as well. 011 8830702, the WhatsApp line 072 7021702. There's one that says, come to the countryside, the Midlands KZN. Another one says, Relebogile, the best for me is still KwaMaritani in the Northwest Province, similar to the Kruger with no malaria. Also, 1 hour away from Joburg, not 4. So if you're thinking, that whole drive all the way to Mpumalanga or Limpopo Fukui National Park, you can do KwaMaritani. It is definitely a great option. When we come back from the news, we continue with the two ladies and we find out where exactly they went with BBC Lifestyle, Hidden Gems, South Africa. It's 1:30 time for your latest Eyewitness News headlines. Good afternoon.
Thanks, Relebogile. Good afternoon. The MPA has confirmed that Mpumalanga taxi boss Jos Banyoni and 3 co-accused will return to court after the case against them was struck off the roll. The prosecuting authority says the matter is set to appear on the Delmas Magistrate Court roll tomorrow. The case against 2 men accused of murdering media personality Warwick Stock, popularly known as DJ Warris, is now ready for pre-trial proceedings. The Johannesburg Magistrate Court heard today that investigations have been finalized in the matter involving Mozambican national Armindo Pagula and taxi boss Vincent Majola. And the Bafana Bafana players and coaching staff have received a rousing reception at their sponsors' farewell event in Rosebank. Hundreds of adoring supporters arrived at the Standard Bank headquarters to support the team this morning. Those are the headlines this EWN and more at 2 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Well, at this stage in Kempton Park, heading towards OR Tambo International Airport, we still have that accident scene. This is on the R21 northbound before the R23 Pinoni off-ramp, causing more than a 30-minute delay all the way from Atlas Road. Also in the Benoni-Boksburg area, traffic a bit sluggish. This is on Atlas Road, approaching the N12. If you're heading into the Joburg CBD, slow-moving traffic. This is on the M2 westbound. This is approaching Main Reef Road. Also in the Poleshoff area, expect some delays on Witkoppen Road between Main Road and Stonehaven. If you come across any other traffic issues, kindly WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
702 family, we value what you think and we want you to hear it face to face. So on Friday, the 5th of June, we're opening our studio doors yet again to 702 listeners who'd like to share their thoughts on the station, your feedback, your ideas. It all matters to us. Everyone who joins us will get a full studio tour. Come see where the magic happens. You might even get to meet some of the 702 family. And if you'd like to join us, send an email to contact@702.co.za.
If you're CEO or CFO looking to grow across Africa, then the next 60 seconds are for you. Because in that short time, one bank in Africa will process over 300 million rand. That's 430 billion rand every day. Right now, we have 17.7 trillion rand of the continent's assets under custody management, making us far and away the largest bank by assets in Africa. Which is why in 2025, we were voted Best Bank for Corporates in Africa at the Euro Money Awards for Excellence. So, if you're looking for a bank with scale, we're easy to find. We're in 21 key markets across Africa, and we've been on the continent for 163 years, so we are not going anywhere. Standard Bank Corporate and Investment Banking. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Your boss noticed. Your ex noticed. The neighbors definitely noticed. Because some cars say, I rented a car. And some cars say, I rented the car. Sani Sixt Rent a Car. Premium rentals. For people who don't settle. Choose the right car. Rent Sani Sixt on sani.co.za.
Mom, I know what I want to be when I grow up.
Oh, really?
I want to be an astronaut.
An astronaut? Aren't you aiming a little high?
Well, that's where you come in. I need you to buy me Pediasure. It has 27 vitamins and minerals to support my growth so that I hit all the milestones and it's scientifically proven.
Okay, Miss Clever. Where can I buy Pediasure?
It's available at pharmacies and retailers in South Africa.
Pediasure by Abbott. Approved by kids to fuel their dreams.
Yo, nothing humbles you like a cold shower.
Happens fast, eh? 1 minute you're living your best life.
Next minute you're questioning everything.
Fair. Here's a quick tip. If your geezer's acting up, don't wait for disaster. Small fixes now save big problems later.
And remember, if you buy cheap, you will shower in the lounge.
We've got loads more tips where that came from.
Quickart, #1 in water heating solutions. Quickart,
add warmth to life.
My name is Richard Sutton, and I'm the host of the podcast Shift Happens. This podcast is about you and the seasons of growth, change, and transformation that shape who you become. My guests are people who have walked long, difficult roads and along the way developed the tools and skills they needed not just to survive, but to thrive and make a real impact in the world. So if you're feeling stuck, uncertain, or searching for what's next, this podcast is for you. Welcome to Shift Happens. Now streaming on primemediaplus.com, the Prime Media Plus app, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
Your voice.
Your life.
Your afternoon radio.
On 702 Afternoons.
With Relebogile Mabotja.
24 minutes to 2 o'clock, and we're chatting Hidden Gems South Africa, which is on BBC Lifestyle DSTV channel 174. Make sure you tune in. You can get an opportunity to watch and then vote for your favorite hidden gem at bbcafricachannels.com/hidden gems. And you could be winning a 10,000 Rand Lekker Slob voucher or the grand prize of 25,000 Rand at the end of the season. We're talking to our gemfluencers, Senzelo Ntembu and Linda Munich. 011-883-0702 and the WhatsApp line 072-702-1702. Okay, so now we get to find out about the places. Linda, where did you go? What was chosen?
Yes, so this, I promise you, this is a hike for you. You don't have, it's not one of those intense where you sleep on the ground. It's called the Breede Kloof Camino.
Wait,
So it is
why would
a
we be
slack
sleeping
packing.
on the ground, ma'am? Are you talking
No,
about the hikes that are like multiple days?
So this one is a multi-day hike as well. It's part of the experience that forms part of this hidden gem. So it's a 64-kilometer hike which you stretch over 5 days. But here's the catch: every day, because you're
Ma'am,
walking
I
in the
can't hear
beautiful.
anything you're saying because my brain stopped working at 64 kilometers. What are you saying? You guys are hiking for
What I
6.4 or 64? 64.
64, but over 5 days. I promise you. But there's a catch.
Okay.
Every day you end off with a beautifully locally catered meal, both a breakfast, a lunch, and a supper that's prepared for you, as well as a wine tasting, because you are hiking in the beautiful winelands of South Africa, close to Worcester and Rawsonville. So I mean, imagine you're not carrying a backpack because you're doing day hikes. All of your gear and your clothes and so on are transported from each location to the next, and you get a guide who takes you through the beautiful valleys in these mountains, and you literally just walk. And each day you get pampered with a lovely meal and a wine tasting afterwards. There's even a gin tasting in one of the days, and it's really catered for people who, I mean, most of the ladies that I've seen does it is 65 years and up. So it's really a slack packing route that is designed with luxury in mind, and it's got such a beautiful heritage looking into the beautiful winelands of South Africa. So you're walking next to most of the wines that are produced in South Africa, and such an iconic gem to the beautiful South Africa region, where I think most of us just drive past these winelands or we sit in a restaurant. You actually get to walk past these vineyards and even taste some of the grapes while you are in the vineyard. So it's a very big cultural immersion and experience for a full 5 days that you are pampered and taken care of. Does that sound a little bit more?
Listen, you said gin, and then I said, okay, I'm there. I'm there. What is the trick though to ensuring that your body has the stamina, fitness, and your mind is in the right place to do 64 kilometers? Is the secret take in the scenery? Like, what tips can you give, especially if somebody's listening, they are a beginner or non-hiker at all, but they're keen to try?
100%. Yeah. So I think one of the big parts is recovery. And what's lovely about this hike is even if you're not a seasoned hiker, you start your days at 8 o'clock. So it's a little bit later than your earlier hikes, and you finish at between 1 and 2ish. So you've got a full afternoon. Some of the days you can even choose if you want a masseuse to come in and massage. So you get your lovely bed, you get lovely food. All the wine is catered for, so you forget of all the pain the day before and you're ready for the next day. So it's a full-on experience that's supposed to be for people who are maybe a little bit older, but really wants to experience and learn a lot more about how wines are cultivated, how they are, how we have the different variants in South Africa. So it's beautiful because you get to see how most of these wines are actually forming in front of your eyes, and how different wine stocks or vineyard stocks have different taste, I must say, taste flavors.
Yes.
So I'm not gonna try and be the person that tells you about all of the beautiful tastings that you have to go and figure out yourself,
Yeah.
or go and experience yourself. But the wines are it's exquisite, and it's really such a beautiful way to get to know a lot about one of the biggest industries in South Africa, which is our wine exporting industry.
Listen, that sounds absolutely fantastic and definitely intriguing, especially when you added the part about massage. I'm like, girl, you should have started with, listen, there are massages, and then we would have been sold. Senza, on your side, tell us about where you went.
So this episode threw me for a loop.
Yes! What happened?
So the clue was urban. And I was like, wang, wang, wang.
Yeah. Because it sounds like, how are you just sending me to Bloom?
Like, where are we going?
Yeah.
Because, everybody loves the ocean views and the this and you know what I mean? So I was like, where are we going? Okay, so I scanned the QR code. and it says Sanctuary Mandela in Houghton. Houghton is a suburb in Johannesburg, which I know well. And I've been to Sanctuary Mandela on a date. So I've
Yes.
had dinner there, and it was an exquisite experience.
I hope you kept that man, because if that was his choice. Okay, that's another episode.
Story for another day.
Yes.
But no, it really is a great pick. It is something that everybody needs to go and try. It's a very special, thoughtful experience. You know, you receive your menu in what looks like this old letter that's like stamped, and it's in the handwriting of former President Nelson Mandela.
Yes.
And everything there is just stories and history and memories and a lot of surprises and things that we did not know about this man. And I think there's a beauty in that. So this episode really challenged me to dig deeper and have a bit of a paradigm shift about what is a hidden gem, you know, and sort of beyond aesthetics and beyond views and beyond, you know, bucket lists that are popular. When we dig deeper into the places that are just in our backyards. So I'm a Joburger, and this place is just in my backyard, but it's truly special. Everything from the music, you know, I didn't know he was such a jazz lover, and we have that in common. You know, the photos that are there, the staff are so good at sharing stories. The wines are very purposefully curated to be in there.
Yes.
And a lot of it is local. I don't know if you know Aslina, her wines. And there's also a lady called Carmen, who's one of the first black females to produce wine. So all of that is in there very intentionally. I loved it, honestly. And I got presidential treatment.
Yes.
I'm not going to say more.
Oh, because you have to tune
but
in.
I got some presidential treatment, and I guess you'll see what that's all about when you watch the episode.
What I'm happy about is the fact that Hidden Gems South Africa is really showing all different types. Because even though you have a Dwarsberg trout hideaway, you also do have something right here. Somebody literally can listen and go and literally decide to go tomorrow or go on Saturday. So the opportunities are so many. I want to quickly look at more of the hidden gems and dream destinations being shared. One says, go on the Green Kalahari route. Start in Kimberley, go have wine on the Orange River, and finish off in the Kalahari Transfrontier, where you get the best rooster brood and lamb. Oh, and of course, crystal clear starry nights. Works well if you also enjoy road trips. That's from Naledi. Oh, that sounds amazing. Another one says, I recently took a shot left to Clarence. What a beautiful place. Believe me, I forgot about my problems in those 3 days. Clarence keeps coming up. Another person, Paul Mpedi on Facebook, says, the mighty Hartbeespoort. It is hashtag damn place to be. And another one, Makhawo, says KNP, best place on earth. What is KNP? What is KNP short for? Guys.
Kruger National
Oh,
Park?
KNP, thank you. There we go. You win the prize. You win the prize. So before we wrap up our conversation, Linda, what is your ultimate, outside of where you've just been, hidden gem that you'd like to share with us? And it could be a hiking one. It could be a travel one.
Oh, it's like you're asking, what's your favorite child? I think there are there's way too many options. But I think I really do. If I had to say maybe more a province that I think is very underrated,
yes,
it would be in Mpumalanga. I think it is absolutely, it's the waterfall province of South Africa, and I think we need a lot more people to be traveling in Mpumalanga. I think it's so underrated, 100%.
All right, Mpumalanga. If you guys have not been, check it out. Sense, your ultimate hidden gem destination in South Africa.
This is hard. I'm going to pick a different one this time. Last time I said anywhere in the Karoo.
Yes.
Because I love a road trip. I love a small town. But I've just been to Knysna and Plett. Well, actually a place just outside of Plett called The Crags.
The Crags?
It's called The Crags.
The
It's
name of the
just-
town?
Yeah. It's like a little, I don't know if it's a little section of Plett or it's just outside of Plett. But it's, if you want to enjoy the town, but you want to be a little bit far removed, so I stayed at a country lodge, and the views are impeccable. Like, it doesn't matter what the weather is like, it is absolutely beautiful. And then you go into Plet, and the town is amazing. There's so much to do. There's amazing eateries. The food is delicious. But then you can also go on a hike at Robberg.
Yes.
Robberg hike is absolutely stunning. So there's something for everyone in Plet and surrounds.
Oh my goodness. And we got a voice note that is also recommending another hidden gem.
Hi, definitely Stillby in the Cape. It's a lovely place, and whenever you go, it's so off the beaten track that it's just favorite place to go.
Oh, and last a message from Moses was saying Cape Town is always a place to go to. Ladies, thank you so much for sharing. All the best with which spot gets chosen as the best spot. We'll be looking forward to those results. Hidden Gems South Africa. It is on BBC Lifestyle, DSTV channel 174. So it will be playing tonight at 8 p.m. We'll catch the repeat tomorrow at 5 p.m. and then head over to bbcafricachannels.com/hidden gems. You could be winning a 10,000 Rand Lekker Slop voucher with a grand prize of 25,000 Rand. Ladies, thank you. More
Thank
to
you
travel.
so much.
The pain of losing a loved one is never easy. It will leave you feeling overwhelmed. At Clientele, we understand that burying loved ones with dignity truly matters. Our funeral plans pay out cash within just 24 hours, and you receive 200 Rand airtime when you claim to make those important calls. Plus, we cover up to 13 people on one plan. SMS funeral to 31586. That's 31586. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Play, win, Jigizinto. It's a whole new ball game. Size Kaya is making your favorite game great again with Match Play. Predict, play, and win from the outcomes of different matches across soccer, rugby, and cricket at halftime or full time. Enjoy more games and more chances to win big. A new chapter begins with Size Kaya. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is operated by Size Kaya from the 1st of June, 2026.
Get down to Dischem this Friday 29 May to Sunday 31 May for incredible one weekend only 2+1 cheapest free deals on the widest range of sports supplements and energy drinks. Offer applies to the lowest priced items in your sports supplements basket. Remember, when you choose better rewards brands, you get an extra 10% off instantly. Level up your fitness game with 2+1 cheapest free on sports supplements this weekend only. Dischem. Better health starts here.
Evolution doesn't wait. Introducing the Chang'an Uni S. Unexpected, unmistakable, uncompromising. Engineered to a higher standard, unlike anything in its class. Unsurprising, really, from China's oldest automaker. Trusted by 30 million drivers worldwide. And at 4,999 per month, it's an unbeatable offer too. Chang'an Finance, T's and C's apply. Visit chang'anmotors.co.za for more. The Chang'an Uni S.
Chang'an, driven to evolve.
In a world that is continuously evolving, Africa is adapting, innovating, and finding new pathways for growth. RMB Africa Focus is back for its 5th season to unpack the conversations shaping the continent right now. And every week on 702, award-winning journalist Crystal Orderson takes a closer look at influential economies and emerging opportunities across Africa with insights from RMB experts and regional voices. Catch RMB Africa Focus Thursday on 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa. Make sure you watch the in-depth video series with episodes released weekly on Prime Media Plus. RMB, a leading African corporate and investment bank.
702 Finance Feature.
10 minutes to 2 o'clock. This finance feature is brought to you by Stanlib Asset Management. Invest in more. And in our finance feature for today, we are talking about Q1 2026 debt index and why it is that high earners are drowning in debt with executive head at Debt Busters, Benay Sager. Benay, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me on the show. I really enjoyed the previous conversation, by the way.
Ooh.
I wish our topic was just as fun.
Well, do tell me, what is your favorite hidden gem?
I'm going to go with Paternoster on the west coast of the country.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. What a place, right? You feel like you're somewhere in like Europe vibes, but it's right here at home.
Absolutely. I think just the stillness and quietness, but we have so many beautiful places. It's unbelievable. So
Is
it's great.
that possibly why we're in debt? Because we want to travel.
I wish I could say yes. I think our situation with our finances is a little bit more difficult. I think since 2021 we are in debt because I think we really need to be. Our income growth has not been great. It is better now than it was a few years ago, but as you know, since the pandemic, we haven't quite caught up with the income levels up until very recently. In fact, about a year ago, it took us about 5 years to get back to where we were, and I think that's why we've been having to borrow money to make ends meet.
And of course, with what's happening around the world, it's not making things easier with all of the basics going up.
Absolutely. And I think because this period that we're talking about, the data is up until the end of March, we hadn't even seen the impact of increases in petrol prices, diesel prices, electricity prices that normally started in the beginning of April. So I think when we talk about this report for Q2 2026 in 3 months' time, I fear we may be looking at a slightly more difficult picture than we are today.
Okay, so let's specifically speak about high earners. Who qualifies as a high earner according to this debt index?
Yeah, so we've been doing the debt index for a number of years, and this time we decided there's been a lot of talk about the high earners. So we basically wanted to look at specifically for those who are taking home 50,000 Rand or more, so really high earners. And, previously we had talked about those taking home more than 35,000 Rand. And I think we wanted to split these groups into two to see if there was any behavioral differences.
Yes.
So in this case, when we talk about the top earners, that's who we're talking about, those who take home more than 50,000 Rand.
Okay, so now when we say those who take home more than 50,000 Rand, I mean, there might be a perception from somebody listening who maybe is earning 15,000 Rand or 8,000 Rand and think to themselves, well, if I was earning 50,000 Rand, I definitely would not be in debt. Can you help us maybe understand from your experience and the information you have at hand what the trap is that happens when somebody goes from 15 to 50,000 Rand income?
Yeah, of course. And I think we should probably bring in the concept of age here. What we normally see is when we are all young, we're all young, but of course some of us are younger than others. At our younger days, in early 20s particularly, your starting salaries are going to be lower. It will be around 10 to 12 to 15,000 Rand. And as you get more experience and you change jobs and you build your career, as you get to your 40s and 50s, that's how you end up. So most of the group we're talking about are, older than 40 to 45. So we have to remember that in context. It's not so much that. So over time, what also happens that seems to coincide with not just your own professional growth, but also your personal growth. You tend to have families. We tend to want to become more independent. So we buy our car or we lease our car, whatever it might be. Then we buy a house or we buy a flat, whatever it might be. So generally, we build a bit of an asset base and we take on more debt as well as trying to, build a family. Now, all of these things are generally funded by higher incomes of higher salaries. And that's why we end up with, generally speaking, slightly higher age, slightly higher income, and slightly higher debt. These things kind of go together. So, I just want to make sure that particularly for our younger listeners to start thinking, well, gosh, I'm not earning 50,000. If I were, I wouldn't be in debt. So my point is generally we tend to match our lifestyle and our life stages to what we're earning. And I think that's why we end up with this. Now, specifically with the group we're talking about, what seems to have happened in the last 5 years in particular is after the pandemic, and even going back before that, lending really shifted in South Africa. A lot of the lending activity started happening to higher income groups because these groups are deemed to be lower risk, or in other words, more likely to repay back the money that they borrowed. And this was met by demand from this group who wanted to borrow. So the two, it was a match made in heaven, and I think it still continues. So generally, a lot of the lending activity right now is happening to higher income groups, and a lot of the borrowing activity is happening from higher income groups. And as a result, we ended up in the situation where we're talking about now, where those taking home 50,000 Rand or more have basically twice as much unsecured debt today than they did 5 years ago. In the process, they've also been supporting a broader range of family members, particularly post-pandemic. They're also supporting businesses. They're borrowing on behalf of their businesses, in some cases borrowing on behalf of their friends, and so on. So I think it's a complex set of drivers that ended up. It's easy, as you say, to sit on the outside and say, gosh, if I earned that much, I wouldn't be in this situation. But I think there's a little bit more detail to it.
And I'm glad you are explaining the nuances so that it's not just the perception that, well, people are drowning in debt because they didn't manage their finances properly, or they didn't, take financial advice, or they have low financial literacy. It is a number of contributing factors to some of the challenges being faced in that regard. Bene Sager, Executive Head at Debt Busters.
More isn't just a word. It is Stand Up Asset Management's commitment to doing better every day for our clients. It's about investing to create futures and delivering on our promises. It's about never giving up on better, because better starts with more. We invest in more to give investors data-led insights that transform, portfolios built for a changing world, and consistent performance you can trust. Stand Up Asset Management. Invest in more. Stand Up Asset Management is an authorized financial services provider.
702 Josie, my Josie. Walk the Talk is calling on you to walk with the people for the people on Sunday, the 26th of July. Babize bonke. And this year you can choose from 3 different inner city routes. The 8K44 Main Street route takes you from Ellis Park through Maboneng and Jewel City, past the Field of Dreams and Maharishi Invincibility Institute. You then go through the Main Street Precinct, Gandhi Square, and past the Carlton Centre, finishing off at Ellis Park. So whether you're taking on the 8, 5 or 15K, enter now on primemediaplus.com and get ready for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the City of Johannesburg.
Get down to Dis-Chem this Friday 29 May to Sunday 31 May for incredible one weekend only 2+1 cheapest 3 deals on the widest range of sports supplements and energy drinks. Offer applies to the lowest price items in your sports supplements basket. Remember, when you choose better rewards brands, you get an extra 10% off instantly. Level up your fitness game with 2+1 cheapest free on sports supplements this weekend only. Dis-Chem. Better health starts here.
Evolution doesn't wait. Introducing the Chang'an Uni S. Unexpected, unmistakable, uncompromising. Engineered to a higher standard, unlike anything in its class. Unsurprising, really, from China's oldest automaker, trusted by 30 million drivers worldwide. And at 4,999 per month, it's an unbeatable offer too. Chang'an Finance, T's and C's apply. Visit chang'anmotors.co.za for more. The Chang'an Uni S.
Chang'an, driven to evolve.
Mzansi, Take-A-Lot's senior cards, and boy have you been shopping. To say thank you for all your support, we're bringing you the Thanks A Lot sale. Get up to 60% off must-have beauty, sports gear, latest tech, TV and appliances, everyday essentials, toys and more. To know you is to spoil you. Shop the Take-A-Lot Thanks A Lot sale from 25 May to 7 June.
In the next hour of the show, Hugh Fraser is back. No, he's not talking about movies. We're talking about South African architecture in part 2 of our masterclass, 011 883 0702, and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702.
This is EWN.
Good afternoon, I'm Zingisa Chirwa. The NPA has confirmed that Mpumalanga taxi boss Jose Banyoni and his 3 co-accused will return to court after the case against them was struck off the roll initially. The prosecuting authority says the matter is set to appear on the Delmas Magistrate Court roll tomorrow. EWN understands the case has been moved to that court on security grounds. The case was previously struck off by Chief Magistrate Tulia Tutonjeni after the prosecutor failed to appear in court, reportedly following death threats. The NPA has now referred Tonjeni to the Magistrates Commission to investigate her conduct in the matter. NPA spokesperson Kaiser Khanyago says the state remains confident it has a watertight case against Banyoni and his co-accused.
after looking at the evidence, after the investigation by the police, we are comfortable and we are convinced that they have got a case to answer. Therefore, that's where we are. We would not have brought it up, just that in the first instance it got out on a technicality. Therefore, now it is re-enrolled officially tomorrow.
The case against two men accused of murdering media personality Warwick Stock, popularly known as DJ Waras, is now ready for pre-trial proceedings. The Johannesburg Magistrate Court heard today that investigations have been finalized in the matter involving Mozambican national Armindo Pakula and taxi boss Vincent Majola. The pair face charges linked to the murder of Stock, who was shot and killed outside the Zambesi House building in the Johannesburg CBD in December last year. Relebogile Mabotja has more.
Prosecutors argue Mozambican national Armindo Pakula is the triggerman and taxi boss Vincent Majola was the mastermind behind the fatal attack. The state has wrapped up its case and told the court it's ready to proceed with the trial. Prosecutor Vincent Muchabela says they now have all the accused details, including cell phone data and financial information.
The matter is on the roll today, Your Chief, for further investigations. Our investigations are complete and therefore should be in terms of Section 75. Of the Criminal Procedure Act. State requests the matter to be transferred to the High Court. The indictments are ready, Your Worship. One has been served to the defense.
The matter has been transferred to the High Court for 18 June. Relebogile Mabotja, Eyewitness News, Johannesburg Magistrates Court.
Electricity Minister Josienzo Ramokgopa says Eskom's continued dominance in South Africa's power generation allows the utility to show some flexibility to municipalities struggling with debt. Ramokgopa was responding to questions around the city of Johannesburg's billions of rands owed to Eskom during the launch of the Letabo solar PV project in the Free State. The minister says he remains confident that the city and its power entity, City Power, will honour their payment agreements. Mongezi Gogo reports.
Johannesburg has faced growing pressure over its electricity debt to Eskom, with concerns that non-payment could place further strain on the country's power system. But Ramokgopa says Eskom's position as the country's primary electricity generator means it is still able to work with municipalities while solutions are still being found. He says this is one of the key factors government must consider before fully privatizing electricity generation.
If we're in that dispensation today, so it will be done. Alexander will be done. In the wholesale market, I give electricity to an end customer that can pay.
The minister was speaking on the sidelines of Eskom's 75-megawatt solar PV groundbreaking ceremony at the Letabo power station. Mongezi Gogo, Eyewitness News in the Free State.
And finally, the Bafana players and coaching staff have received a rousing reception at their sponsors' farewell event in Rosebank. Hundreds of adoring supporters arrived at the Standard Bank headquarters to support the team this morning. EWN sports reporter Mawande Mateza was there.
It was a moment reminiscent of South Africa in June 2010. A joyful atmosphere welcomed the Bafana squad, and an enthusiastic crowd dressed in predominantly green and gold sang, danced and beat drums in honor of the national team. A usually stoic coach Hugo Bruce, the mastermind behind Bafana's first World Cup appearance in 16 years, was moved by the display of warmth towards his team, and he admitted he's never experienced the kind of support he's received in South Africa anywhere else in his career.
I have a career of 55 years, and I can assure you what I see here today, it never happened in my career that I felt the same warmth and support. Thank you for that.
All 32 players in the Bafana preliminary squad were present ahead of the final squad announcement at 7 p.m. tonight. Mawande Mateza, Eyewitness News.
In your financials, gold is trading at $4,429.69 an ounce. The rand is 16.36 to the dollar, 21.98 to the pound, and 19.04 to the euro. Brent crude oil is $96.70 a barrel.
Well, we're still dealing with that accident seen in Kempton Park, R21 northbound. This is before the R23 Pinoni off-ramp, slowing down traffic. If you are in the Devland area, heading into Eldorado Park, slow-moving traffic on the Golden Highway, approaching the N12.
A fine Wednesday in Gauteng, temperatures peaking at highs of between 20 and 23 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, the NPA has confirmed that Mpumalanga taxi boss Jos Banyoni and his 3 co-accused will return to court after the case against them was struck off the roll initially.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
On Sunday, 26 July, 7:02 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk unites us all in the iconic Joburg CBD.
7:02
Walk the Talk. Abize bonke. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
You're with Relebogile Mabotja
Live, streaming countrywide
on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
Minutes after 2 o'clock, the second and final hour, 7:02 afternoons with me, Relebogile Mabotja. We're going to be jumping into our masterclass. It's part 2 on South African architecture, and Hugh Fraser is back with us to chat all about it. Get in touch, 011 883 0702, SMS us 31702, tweet at Relebogile M at Radio 702 using the hashtag 702 afternoons, and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702.
7:02
Masterclass.
Masterclass time with me, Relebogile Mabotja, brought to you by Standard Bank Private. Switch to Standard Bank Private today and live wealthier with Africa's best private bank. Now, he is not just somebody you heard on the radio or somebody who enjoys to travel. He also is Chief Marketing Officer of the South African Institute of Architects, Mr. Hugh Fraser. Welcome back. 2 weeks in a row. This is fun. So I have to ask, where are we following the account for the SA Institute?
So the base one is Instagram, because Instagram deals with pictures.
Yes.
But that also crosses onto Facebook, which we use to communicate. I know Gen Zs don't use it, but boomers do. And you know, I went on a major campaign about 2 months ago, starting to put all the entries of the awards onto Instagram, and it's really, really effective. But now I'm starting to wonder, should people like us be using TikTok as well? You know, there is so much rubbish on TikTok. How about we have some classy stuff?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know.
You're thinking about it.
I'm thinking about it.
The reason why I think you should is because there are many property people that have a very that are just showcasing the aspects of the property that are around it's for sale, and this is what you get.
Yeah.
But the part about what inspired the design and the architect, like, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely room for it. So get
the
on
estate
it.
agents now definitely use AI and
Yes.
algorithms. And of course, my house has been on top billing not once, but twice.
That
surely must put the sale price up by R1 million.
Right, it should. You must start making that part of
Permanently,
the
as seen on
for
TV.
sale thing
Yeah.
that you do. So on the last masterclass, we unpacked the role that architects play in shaping how we live, work, and move through space. One of the things I held on to that you said, Hugh, because I was also just very inspired, was the part of who are you as a person. So it's not just about what do you like to see and what is the house you imagine you're going to live in, but who are you? What does your life look like? What are your dreams and goals and all of those things in the picture?
So we did touch on this a couple of weeks ago. The architect in many ways is a therapist as well, especially a marriage counselor, which I've had.
What? Of course, because the couples will fight about
absolutely.
what. Oh my gosh, I never thought of that.
Twice I had couples who got divorced.
What?
after the
Because
building
of
was
you.
finished.
They got divorced because of you. You didn't
No,
get
no,
the
no,
drawing
no.
right. You were supposed to side with the wife.
I usually do. I told you I was doing work for John Robbie. We had a site meeting this week. I said to him, "Where is your alarm panel?" So he just burst out laughing hysterically, and he said, "You don't expect me to know where the burglar panel is."
Speak to the wife.
Speak to the wife. She's the commander in charge.
Absolutely love that. So for today, I really want us to take a moment to also we were touching on the different types of architecture, but I want us to go back in history from as far back as whenever you learned. What were some of the initial influences on architecture? Did you start at the Cape Dutch?
Yeah, so I just want to go back quickly. I was listening to you on the way in.
Yes.
And travel just makes me dribble.
I know.
And we did 51 sites for these awards, and I had to arrange visits to the Eastern Cape, to the Western Cape,
yes,
to the Northern Cape, to the Free State, Joburg, Pretoria, Modimolle, Durban, Kruger, and Hoedspruit. We basically went to just about every region.
Modimolle is such a random place that you went to.
You know, I have to tell you one thing. It was possibly the most inspiring of all the projects. It's called New Hope for the Blind. It's a private organization that restores sight to people, primarily in Limpopo, but other provinces and other countries as well. Glaucoma is the most common operation in the world. I've had two, not glaucoma, what are those? Cataracts.
Cataracts, yes.
I've had two myself.
But because of glaucoma.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this place is actually beyond Modimolle. It's out in the middle of nowhere. And what they've done, there are two things that I absolutely adored. The one is that the operating theatres have got floor to ceiling, wall to wall, huge glass windows, bigger than this one that we've got in the studio here. So, and the one thing about cataract operation is your sight's restored almost immediately. And it's mostly indigent people from the province. And the other thing that has made my I wanted to burst into tears, they've got in handwritten next to the machine, it says like, open your eyes now in Sepedi, and what is your name in Sepedi? So these people have just come around because it's only a 15-minute operation.
Yes.
And I was just so inspired by
because immediately you open your eyes and
Yeah.
then you can read something you possibly couldn't read before.
And you look out into the bushveld where they've got buck and stuff like that. I mean, you were talking about Africa and hidden spots and hidden gems. I mean, what a fantastic idea to wake up in an operating theatre and you see bushveld. I mean, that's how beautiful it was. And then there were all the other places that we went to that related primarily to what you were talking about, the spaces. Every time somebody phoned in, I thought, oh, we went there on our
of
trip.
the hidden gems, and there were so many. I mean, somebody was saying if you've never been to Cullinan, you must go to Cullinan as well. So there's so many. And for those who wanted to find out, the Instagram is SAIA_national. So that's the SA Institute of Architects, SAIA_national, so that you can also see the different categories. Hugh has been posting furiously just in terms of the spaces that they went to check out, and the awards are happening tomorrow.
I make a Gen Z look lazy.
The way you were posting.
I find out I can do Final Cut Pro. I hate working on a phone, so I can put together a reel in about 10 minutes. Anyway, so go back to your initial question, and this is very important in most of South African life. Is that we had the misfortune of being colonized by not one but two Teutonic forces. First the Dutch and then the English. And if it is humanly possible to cook worse than the English, it's the Dutch. And it's true. The reason why the Dutch were heading out east was to get spices. That's why they set out.
Yes.
So I have this theory. If you're colonized by the Northerners, including the English and the Dutch, you got good infrastructure, which we had, and law and order, which is not to be confused with justice.
Yes.
If you got the Latins, you got good food and good architecture. You can have them both. So we unfortunately, we got stuck with the two Teutons.
Yes.
So yes, were heavily influenced by the Dutch. The only sort of original South African architecture is Cape Dutch, which is inspired by the Dutch, obviously. If you go to Pretoria, if you go to Church Square, you can see that it is noticeably Dutch inspired. An interesting thing about the Cape Dutch houses, the main reason why you had that huge gable over the front door is that
Please tell us what a gable is.
The gable is that kind of wall that comes over.
Yes, so that interesting shape at the top,
It's to protect people running out of the building when there's a fire.
Oh, I didn't know it was functional. I thought it was aesthetic.
We know, well, I mean, it's kind of as aesthetic as the Dutch could get, but it was there primarily because fires were a big issue. I mean, I think we underestimate how many they had.
Yes.
So they were there to to protect people who were fleeing from the fire.
Mm.
And then the British came along. What actually happened is that Holland went to war with the French, and they said to the English, please will you look after the Cape while we have this little tiresome war. And then the war finished, the Dutch said, can we have it back? And the English said, it's lovely here.
It's too late. We're not going anywhere.
So then they had a little war, and it was Holland 0, England 1. And then the British moved in, and they had basically settled around the entire world. And their architecture was very influential throughout South Africa.
Can I just take us a step back with the Cape Dutch? So the question I wanted to know before we move on to now when the English came is what, outside of that shape, what else was a very unique architectural signature of that kind of architecture?
Thatched roofs, very thick walls, and very small windows to keep them cool in summer and warm in winter. I mean, that's not a unique situation, and many people did that around the world. The Dutch were also influenced by the Huguenots, who had brought the wine culture from France. So luckily they brought those people back with them. So there's influence from Holland, there's influence from France, and there's local responding to local climates. The very interesting thing is that buildings were always sustainable until two things happened. One, air conditioning. Suddenly, building, nowadays you don't know where a building is. It could be in Norway, it could be in Malaysia. You know, air conditioning changed everything. And the other thing which we'll touch on again is the influence of computers. Most architects use AutoCAD Revit, and it's like giving a bunch of school children 3 colors of pencil. They're all going to be starting to do the same drawing.
Yes, eventually. Yes.
Yeah. So that's influenced the Cape Dutch.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we pick up from Cape Dutch, and then we speak about the computers and the air conditioning and what it did switch up and why 18 minutes after 2 o'clock.
Mzansi, the excitement is building. The 130th running of the Hollywood Bets Durban July takes place on Saturday, 4 July. This year's theme, Country Allure, draws from the richness of our land, a celebration of heritage, freedom and style, inspired by our beautiful countryside. It's more than a race. It's where champions are made, stories are written, and greatness is unleashed. World-class horse racing, bold fashion, music, culture, and a day of endless excitement at Hollywood Bets Greyville Racecourse. Get your tickets now at Ticket Pro and release your glamour at the Hollywood Bets Durban July, Africa's greatest horse racing and social event.
You have insurance, just in case. A spare tire, just in case. But when it comes to cash flow, most businesses wait until it's too late. Bridgement gives you business funding on standby, so timing doesn't decide for you. Get access to up to 10 million rand, no cost to apply, or keep it in place. Use it when you need it, free when you don't. Apply online at bridgement.com. Bridgement, business funding simplified.
The world's best male and female paddle players are coming to South Africa. The historic Premier Paddle Pretoria P1 will be at Sunbet Arena Times Square from 26 July to the 2nd of August. Expect world-class action, unbelievable energy, premium hospitality, and an atmosphere unlike anything South African sport has seen before. This is Africa's biggest paddle tournament ever, and tickets are selling fast. Don't miss your chance to witness the sport's biggest stars in South Africa. Get your tickets now at primemediaplus.com.
Today, standing out in the job market is more important than ever. Postnet and Huru are here to help you succeed. Did you know that many organizations require a criminal record check before hiring? From educators to retailers, drivers to lawyers and more, Postnet has you covered. From just 335 Rand, add a Huru criminal record check to your CV and stand out from the crowd. Visit your nearest Postnet today. Postnet, helping you succeed.
Mzansi, Take-A-Lot's senior cards, and boy have you been shopping. To say thank you for all your support, we're bringing you the Thanks A Lot sale. Get up to 60% off must-have beauty, sports gear, latest tech, TV and appliances, everyday essentials, toys and more. To know you is to spoil you. Shop the Take-A-Lot Thanks A Lot sale from 25 May to 7 June.
Joburg is more than just a city. It's an energy, a pulse, and a feeling connecting everybody. The heart of Mzansi.
It's Joburg.
In celebration of this, 702 has partnered with Jozi My Jozi, and we're calling on you to walk through the city center with us.
Walk the talk.
In the 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk. Babize bonke. On Sunday, 26 July, we're going to the iconic Joburg CBD, the home of dream creators and operators, where we dominate and history make. So join us and be a part of something special.
I'm ready to rock this book.
Because when Joburg walks together, extraordinary things happen. Enter now on primemediaplus.com and get ready for 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk this July, hosted by the City of Johannesburg. Walk with the people, for the people, for our Jozi. Babize bonke. Enter Walk the Talk now on primemediaplus.com.
If it's trending, timeless, or totally unexpected,
It's unpacked on the masterclass with Relebogile Mabotja,
brought to you by Standard Bank Private
on 702.
22 minutes after 2 o'clock, we continue with our master class on South African architecture, part 2 with you, Fraser, Chief Marketing Officer at the South African Institute of Architects. Get in touch with us, 011 883 0702, and the WhatsApp line 072 702 and 702. We did reach the point where we're speaking Cape Dutch style architecture. If you can get your headphones on, we've got a call with a question in regards to that. Anne from Stanton, how are you, Anne?
Well, thank you, and you?
I am doing well, and you've got a question for Hugh. He's listening.
I do. Hi. I was quite shocked at your comment about the Dutch being even worse than the English.
Come to your mic, Hugh. We can't hear you.
It's true. You know, I'm a guide and I guide the English. What I like about the English is they have a sense of humor. The Dutch, not so much. So what I did is I went online to check.
Do you think it's the opposite, Anne?
They are, the English do have a wonderful sense of humor, and the Dutch are very lacking. But that's not my main comment. My question is, what architecture would you like to see or have seen that we inherited from day sort of one in the country and have grown up with the beautiful Dutch architecture and the English architecture? What architecture would you have liked to see South Africa inherit?
Oh, that's such a dope question, because it so in essence, if you could choose from all over the world, what would you have chosen to inherit? I feel like you were going to say Spanish.
So what I said earlier about the Northern Europeans and the Southern Europeans, the Southern Europeans have a much closer climate to ours. And so their architecture was already climate responsive. So yes, I mean, I would, a Mediterranean climate style architecture is, if I had a choice, that's what I would do. I mean, and I'm trying to answer this as sort of straightforward as possible, but the answer is quite complex. In the 200 years that the Boers were here from Cape Town and they moved up to the Transvaal, the architecture did start to change. The Transvaal veranda house was a response to the climate. So people weren't following it blindly. I mean, the British architecture in the Eastern Cape, in Bathurst and places like that, is very Georgian, and I mean, it's pretty, but it's not climate responsive. So yes, it would be Spanish, Portuguese, French. Because
I knew it.
They were already responding to a warm climate, which is what we had. But you know, and since the 19th century to the 20th century, I mean, the apartheid regime did nothing for us, least of all for architecture. I mean, it was a very, very fascist style. But, I mean, the 54 buildings that we saw during the awards, people are responding very, very appropriately to climate, to energy, to landscape. The idea, we spoke about landscaping as well, the idea of bringing gardens into the house. There's an architect in Sri Lanka called Jeffrey Bauer, who did some really, really beautiful buildings that had courtyards. Joburg, unfortunately, has amongst the best climate in the world, except in June and July.
So I have to then ask, my assumption, and thank you, Anne, for that brilliant question for you. My assumption about air conditioning changing the architecture is now you no longer have to have a house that needs to cool and warm up according to what's happening outside, because now you've got these air cons that can just deal with the temperature and the climate inside the house. So now you're not thinking necessarily about
it's just a
things.
pill. Oh my God, it's too hot, it's too cold. Let's just take the pill, switch on the air conditioner.
Yes.
I read in the press this week, for the first time, air conditioners as heating devices are rocketing in the UK. Joburg?
Wait, rocketing as in like increasing in sales? Yes, okay.
Because for the heating, not for the cooling function, not the heating function. But you know, climate responsive architecture has been around for centuries, and people just did it automatically. The Iranians, if we're allowed to use that term, have got something called a badgir, which is a wind tower. And anyone who's been to Dubai will have seen them. And these are towers that are twisted in the direction of the prevailing winds. And it captures the winds and it channels them down over a pond and into the house. So people do know already how to introduce cooling and heating measures in a very sustainable way.
Yeah.
You know, but humans are remarkable things. They can do anything. They just have to have their back to the wall. When they've got their back to the wall, then they'll sort it out.
I have to ask about the thatch. So was the thatch something that was specifically Cape Dutch, or it was something that was found here and incorporated into Cape Dutch?
I stand corrected, but in terms of, we should have covered traditional indigenous.
Yes, because I was just trying to figure out where those worlds met.
The Khoi and the San used hides. To my knowledge, they didn't use thatch. They may have used thatch. But if we think at the time, what would have been at their disposal would have been hides. And also, it's a fairly temperate climate, so you wouldn't have to worry. If you go to KwaZulu-Natal and the Transkei, their thatch and straw was used extensively. And in fact, out at Cradle of Humankind, they've built a 1 in 2 model of Shaka. I think it's Shaka Zulu. It's fantastic. What is amazing, it's a proper.
So it's almost like a replica of what.
But it's 1 in 2.
Yes.
And then when they edit the movie, they digitally double the size. I mean, I don't know how they do that. So when you go around South Africa, the 9 ethno-linguistic groups all change ever so slightly according to food, architecture, and clothing, and it's largely related to climate. So the Xhosa would have had grass roofs and mud walls. Later, there would have been brick walls and corrugated iron. Tswana culture would have been, when I drove to Rwanda a couple of years ago. I mean, the one sad thing now in South Africa, you see just about no traditional South African buildings. People don't want it. Black people want what white people have. What they didn't know is that white people have got
We want comfort. I love it. Oh, that is so funny, Hugh. Only you would say something like that. But I have to ask, before we go to news, I'm just thinking about Limpopo and how, what you might find in Venda or like Tsenin, which would have been quite different to what you find in KZN.
Well, it's a very hot part of the country, but also if you're in Zanin or high up in the mountains, it's quite cold. And in fact, that region can get really cold.
In the mornings in winter, yes.
So that would have been, Tulamela and Mapungubwe are up in the north. So there they probably would have made more use of rocks as well, and animal hides as well.
Sure.
And the Ndebele have got the most fantastic spatial arrangement of public space, semi-public space, private space, with those walls and the Istamahlangu beautifully painted walls.
I knew we were going to mention that. All right, Nanette, I see you waiting to ask you a question. We continue. Get your questions in 011-883-0702. The WhatsApp line 072-702-1702. It's 2:30. Time for latest Eyewitness News headlines. Good afternoon.
Thanks, Relebogile. Good afternoon. The DA says the work of Parliament to prepare for an impeachment hearing over potential misconduct by President Cyril Ramaphosa should not be allowed to stall because of the legal action he launched yesterday. DA parliamentary leader George Mikalakis says by threatening to interdict the process, Ramaphosa would be preventing Parliament from complying with the Constitutional Court order and would amount to delay tactics. Electricity Minister Kgosientsho Ramokgopa says Eskom's continued dominance in South Africa's power generation allows the utility to show some flexibility to municipalities struggling with debt. Ramokgopa was responding to questions around the city of Johannesburg's billions of rands owed to Eskom during the launch of the Letabo solar PV project in the Free State. And the IEC is urging South Africans to register to vote, emphasizing their constitutional right to elect leaders of their choice. The call was made at the launch of the Commission's National Local Government Election Campaign in Midrand today. Those are the headlines of this EWN and more at 3 or as it happens.
EWN Traffic.
Well, some good news. That accident seen in the Kempton Park area on the R21 northbound before the R23 Benoni off-ramp has been cleared and traffic should be back to normal shortly. However, if you're traveling through Devland, we still have slow-moving traffic on the Golden Highway between Union and the N12. Also, slow-moving traffic in the Polshof area, rather in the Bryanston area on the N1 southbound between Rivonia Road and Winnie Mandela Drive. Also in Sharon Lee, bumper-to-bumper traffic on Malibongo Drive between the N1 and Belez. If you come across any other traffic issues, kindly WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Calling all aspiring radio stars this June 702 afternoons is bringing back Youth Takeover Thursdays. So if you or someone you know dreams of being on air as a talk show host, a newsreader, a traffic reporter or sports presenter, we want to hear from you. So a select few will shadow the team, go live on 702 and walk away with a professional demo and on-air experience. Email the show 702 afternoons at 702.co.za. That's 702 afternoons at 702.co.za with your details, the role, your age, a short motivation and a 1-minute demo. Applications close this Friday, the 29th of May.
We could tell you we are the best bank in Africa, but if you're a CEO or CFO looking to grow, you're probably more interested in the numbers, like the fact that our systems process $9 trillion every year. That's around 45 times the value of all intra-Africa trade. And that our custody network safeguards 17.7 trillion rand in assets. Those are big numbers. And a big reason to grow with us. Standard Bank Corporate and Investment Banking. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Still shopping around for a saving here and a deal there? Choose Checkers, SA's #1 in value supermarket, and save on deals like Kellogg's Cornflakes 1 kg for $76.99, Nescafe Cappuccino Sticks 10 per pack. Buy any 2 and get a third free. Save 80 rand. And Twin Saver 2-ply white toilet rolls 24 per pack for $159.99. Save 30 rand. Valid until 7 June. Only at Checkers.
Ready to make a real impact in just 90 minutes? On the 28th of May, Spur Steak Ranches and Rise Against Hunger are joining forces for World Hunger Day to pack thousands of meals for young children across South Africa. And we need you. Grab a friend, grab a shift, 10 a.m., 12 p.m. or 2 p.m. and come help us pack nutritious meals at Thunder Ridge Spur in Centurion. Sign up now via the Spur Facebook page or visit the Rise Against Hunger website. Be a hunger hero. Volunteer today.
Ah, Shane, do you have a sore throat? The Andalex range of lozenges offers 2 options. At the first signs of an irritated, scratchy throat, use Andalex lozenges for dual action, soothing relief. But for a painful, inflamed throat, use Andalex C lozenges for triple action, pain relief. Andalex, SA's #1 choice for a sore mouth and throat. Andalex lozenges are available at all leading pharmacies and supermarkets.
Just Andalex it.
You can become a victim of a legal problem. Wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental disputes, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Coming up,
on 702 Drive with John Perlman.
702 Drive is coming up from 3 to 6 p.m. with John Perlman. John, how are you doing?
Yeah, doing well, thanks. How are you doing? Good afternoon to the listeners.
I am doing well. I know your show's going to be busy. What is coming up today?
Yeah, there's quite a bit going on. So the IEC is giving details of all the election preparations that have been done and crucially what still needs to be done. We'll talk about that after 4 o'clock. Very interesting stats as to how rugby is overtaking football as South Africa's most popular sport in terms of it being watched. Now, that's not, it's not that simple the way I've put it. The numbers are a little bit more nuanced in terms of people's income and so on, but the growth in popularity in rugby is huge, and the implications for money in the game are massive as well. We'll look at that very closely at 10 minutes to 5. Number of Ghanaians leaving South Africa, this in the context of the marches that have taken place and the sense of insecurity that the people who are leaving say they now feel. But it's raised a lot of questions as to how Home Affairs actually works. For example, the Ghanaian High Commissioner was saying that there are people who came here, visas expired, they applied for new visas, and they were then told, no, your matter's being adjudicated. And that can run for up to 3 or 4 years. So this idea that people are undocumented, illegal, and so on, I think needs to be broken down into different categories, because if you don't know what your problem is, you can't necessarily fix it. So we hope to do that after 5 o'clock with Home Affairs and get a better sense of what it is that's actually going wrong in the system.
We were watching now on the screens as, people were gathering to leave. And the thought that crossed my mind was this: the, in inverted commas, bad guys are not going to be the ones that are like, all right, let me go home. And I'm talking the problematic individuals are not necessarily getting on the planes and leaving.
Well, it depends what you mean, though, by problematic, because they found that out of 300 people leaving, I think 10 of them had papers that were in order. So, problematic may
in context,
well be somebody who's involved in illegal activity or destructive behavior, but it's also problematic if you're in a country and you don't have a right to be there. But there's a lot we need to disaggregate, break down, and there's a lot more that we need to try and understand. We'll do our level best.
All right, 702 Drive with John Perlman. We know that's going to be a very big conversation. We'll be tuning in to listen to what Home Affairs has to say from 3 to 6 p.m.
From brainy to bizarre, if it's worth knowing, it's on the Masterclass with Relebogile Mabotja, brought to you by Standard Bank Private on 702.
22 minutes to 3 o'clock. We continue in our masterclass on South African architecture, part 2 with Hugh Fraser, Chief Marketing Officer of the South African Institute of Architects. And we are taking your calls, your questions as we continue. We reached the point in our timeline of Cape Dutch, and then we went backwards to Indigenous, if we're going to call it that. And then we're going to move forward to speak about what happened now when the English had taken over. But before that, we go to Nanette in Illovo, who's been holding so patiently. Nanette, go ahead. Hugh is listening.
No problem. Hi, good afternoon to Hugh.
Hi.
Good afternoon, Relebogile. It's Ninette Lupini here. I just wanted to know what you thought of the face brick. My late husband, most of his homes over 60 years ago were all that blue, beautiful blue face brick. Sort of a double volume open space, and I just wanted to know what you thought of that type of architecture.
So the way Hugh is smiling so wide, I just had to tell you,
I just got a message from Shonice Naidu, who was one of the judges. She represents Corobrik.
Yes.
So, and she's watching on YouTube. So I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about her. So in a way, I love face brick. Sort of. Just from the get-go, it can represent some of the most beautiful architecture in the world, and can represent some of the ugliest stuff from the 1950s and 60s. It depends very much which one you use. So, but face brick per se, I really like.
So when we talk face brick, because she mentioned blue,
so
we think that reddish looking typical face brick. That's what we're referring to.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you do the all materials go in and out of fashion, and the blue one was often used as a plinth, which is that small area at the bottom of a wall to protect it from rain. But the Pietermaritzburg City Hall, to my knowledge, is the biggest brick building, the biggest brick building in the Southern Hemisphere. The Victorians did a lot to promote that red brick, and
I see. I had to just Google to try and understand what but now I know exactly which one. I think our house in Soshanguve was that face brick as well.
Yeah, because the Boere had it, so
yes.
as well.
Okay, so you like face brick, and I have to say I saw somebody who was showing how they what is it called? Flipped a house. They flipped a house that was face brick, and they said everybody advised them not to plaster. They plastered it completely flat, and they switched it up.
You can do that. I mean, face brick, a lot of Orange Grove. The one thing about face brick, which is so fantastic, is that it's largely maintenance free.
Yes.
The women's jail at the Concourt is over 100 years old, and I must say that it's survived remarkably well. I mean, what the British did do is they built properly. Face brick is not designed to be painted. The problem is once you've painted it or plastered it, you've now got maintenance going ahead.
Yes.
If you leave it untreated, it's designed to be left alone for hundreds of years. So, yeah, I mean, I tell you who else does some really remarkable, beautiful buildings are the Iranians. If you go online and have a look in downtown Tehran, they're beautiful. They've got a climate similar to Joburg, hotter, drier. And the idea of using breeze block walls to allow air to ventilate through spaces is very useful. We saw some quite nice ones on the tour as well.
So now we did Cape Dutch, then the English came and they brought their influence. What are the signature things that the English brought to our architecture?
The English had a number of strata. They've obviously got the very sort of fancy London snobby buildings, the clubs, government buildings, state buildings, all that very classical, neoclassical stuff. But then they had started to design also not as successfully as the Boers, but veranda houses. And they took the style around the world. I went to St. Helena, which looks very Georgian, and they brought it to South Africa. They took it to Australia and to New Zealand. They've got a slightly more temperate architecture than us. And then they went to India, and the Indians and the English just fell in love with each other because they had this stratified idea of society. So France, the great British Herbert Baker, who came to South Africa in 1893, he was a really an architect. He came to accompany his brother who was going to the diamond fields. He worked here. He did a whole bunch of those beautiful buildings in Parktown, and that was an evolution of a style that was part South African, part Georgian, part Empire, like the Union buildings. That's very much that type of stuff. And
I was actually just as you were speaking, I was thinking in my mind, I need to ask him next, not just about like the homes, but things like Union buildings, Parliament, and all of those places.
So Herbert Baker and Lutchens had a huge impact on sort of stately architecture in South Africa. And from here, Herbert Baker went to India, and he designed all the Indian buildings, which are very, very similar to what the Union buildings looked like. And then the 1920s, so basically gold was literally pouring out of the ground like it was oil. I mean, in 1970, we dug out 1,000 tons of gold. I think the figure somewhere, I can't remember, but it was 20, 30,000 tons of gold came out of the ground here. And that's all you need. I mean, when you read a book called The Randlords, it describes South Africa around 1850. The 1800s were just wars between everybody.
Yes.
And South Africa was quite a bleak place. I mean, you can imagine the Free State, say, in the middle of winter, windswept. Diamonds were discovered in 1867, and the gold was discovered in Joburg in 1886. So all you have to do around the whole world is money just pumps. So if you look at pictures of Johannesburg in 1886, Suikerbosrand, the nature reserve to the south, that's what Johannesburg looked like. We were a high altitude grassland.
Yes.
All these trees were brought for the mining industry. We went within about 15 minutes. We went from felt to tents to corrugated iron shacks to a part of New York. I mean, within 11 years, if somebody showed you a snapshot, you'd say New York. It was Johannesburg. So then, to answer your question fully, all through the 20th century, the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, roughly 10-year cycles of architectural fashion that was coming predominantly from the United States, because they were the most powerful instigators of architecture and urban design, but we had the money. So when you go down to Main Street, these buildings are all out of the 1930s, Ayn Rand types, but they've been sort of Africanized with guinea fowls and zebras and stuff like that. And the odd occasional view of what white people thought black South Africans would do, you know.
I hear you. So I have to then ask, before we take a break, at what point did the architecture start being as diverse as what it is today? I mean, I kind of feel like Tuscany entered really hard and fast. And
it's actually officially Afro-Tuscan.
Oh, is it now Afro-Tuscan? Because we have our own way of doing Tuscan. When did Tuscan enter the picture?
It probably entered in about the 80s or the 90s. I mean, I go out to the Pilansberg, and whoever's the salesperson for tiles should be given a medal.
Because those
I've never seen so many tiles in this country.
Yes.
So in a way, it diverged and converged. Certainly computers have done a lot to that. World architecture, like world music, in my opinion, is one that's rooted in place. I don't like the idea of a building in Norway looking like a building in Limpopo, looking like a building in Malaysia. They're all in completely different climates, different vegetation zones. But I think people now, once again, are starting to realize that we don't all have to use the same software all the time, and that there's an opportunity for interpretation, which is where we are now.
In terms then of Tuscan, what are the key standout features of Tuscan?
The column.
The column and the balcony with the wire, the curved situation. What is it called? That wire that now has like is in cursive. The cursive wire.
The balustrade. Yeah, no, I know this country pretty well, and there isn't a part. The rural, I'm telling you, people love columns. It doesn't matter if they're Doric, Ionic, or Corinthian.
Go to Venda, ne? The columns you will see there.
Try the Eastern Cape. The columns go up before the walls. Nandi Imperial.
All right, we need to take a break. When we come back, I see your questions. 011 883 0702 and the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702.
The Aubrey Masangu Show on 702.
I cover on my show issues of advisory, whether it is legal matters, whether it is financial matters. I cover day-to-day issues as far as current affairs are concerned. I cover the politics of the day and how we as South Africans are interpreting them. My listener is a curious 702 lander. They want to know what are the backstories, the stories behind what we are hearing on the airwaves. They want to understand what drives the different issues that have us talking. What I love about the 702 family and 702 Land is the fact that we have 702 Landers who are responsive, who are present, who care about their communities, and who want to know how they can be a part of the process of making our areas better, but also our country better. And that for me is a great privilege. I am totally indebted to the providence out there to be talking to these people on a daily basis.
The Aubrey Masangu Show, weekdays from 8 to midnight.
Slow fiber, unstable internet, and that never-ending call center runaround. Enough of that. Switch to Webtel Connect. Fast, reliable fiber and real support from people who know what they're doing. No menu mazes, just internet that actually works. Go check your coverage now. Visit webtelconnect.co.za or WhatsApp 087 238 3780. Webtel Connect. Internet you can trust.
For many South Africans living with blood cancer or blood disorders, a stem cell donor is their only hope for a second chance at life. Right now, someone is waiting for a match. This World Blood Cancer Month, be the reason they get another moment, a birthday, and a chance at a full life. Visit dkmsafrica.org and register to become a stem cell donor today.
Your boss noticed. Your ex noticed. The neighbors definitely noticed. Because some cars say, I rented a car. And some cars say, I rented the car. Sani Sixt Rent a Car. Premium rentals. For people who don't settle. Choose the right car. Rent Sani Sixt on sani.co.za.
Gabelo's the go-to guy for renovations. His bakkie is full of tools, ready to build dreams. But one day, a reckless driver takes him out. Now, his bakkie is standing still. No wheels, no money, Gabza. Oh. But with budget, he'd be back on site faster than you can say DIY. Don't let expensive days stop your hustle. Visit budgetinsurance.co.za for a business insurance quote today. Budget is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
702
Masterclass.
9 minutes to 3 o'clock, and we are getting to winding down our masterclass on South African architecture. This is part 2 with Hugh Fraser, Chief Marketing Officer at the South African Institute of Architects. 011-883-0702 and the WhatsApp line 072-702 and 702. Rachel in Pretoria says, my daughter is in matric. Okay, I'm going to actually come to that just now. Let me go to this message first. In South Africa, it's not called Tuscan. It's called Boere Tuscan. Is that true?
Well, there's Boere Tuscan, Afro Tuscan, Anglo Tuscan.
I did not know. Can I tell you one thing that drives me nuts? And I don't know if it's a South African thing. So you know that bar that is in the house, ne? But it's got a fake like thatch roof that comes into. Oh, and then it's got that what do you call? You know when you go to those like lodges. You know those wood. Oh, please explain who brought that. Is that our thing?
I think it was your people.
No, just not our people. That is not us. We were drinking komboti outside. We did not have a bar inside with this. Because you have this modern house for sale and then this bar that just remains there. They don't change it. And you can tell it's very sportsy, right? So it's got the South African flag. It's got the everything. Just admit, whose is that?
Look, we're quite a coarse country. I don't think we could be ever being accused of having highfalutin manners.
Yeah.
But it probably came with the Boere.
Okay. We've got some voice notes on 072702 and 702.
Hi, Relebogile. If you can please ask you, so where did the Victorian architecture originate? Shivas.
So Victorian architecture refers to a period, the reign of Queen Victoria.
Which is English.
It was English, and she was on the throne for 60 years. And then after that came Georgian and Edwardian, or the other way around, I can't remember. But yeah, it started in probably in London. And it started moving towards Art Nouveau as well. These things are never obviously black and white cut off. They blend into each other. But the source of it would have been London. But England was reaching the power of it, the apex of its power. So a lot of the stuff, I read this lovely article in Time magazine once called The Empire Writes Back. So Victorian architecture would have gone out into the colonies, but would have come back to the UK being reinterpreted in different ways. Certainly South Africa and Australia with very, very hot climates. They would have had cold Victorian architecture and we would have had more verandas.
We've got another voice note.
Hi, Relebogile. I just wanted to please ask you for me. I've just built a 2-story, mini apartment in the township. And the roof is IBR at the top. So someone suggested that for the heat, I should perhaps consider putting air bricks. What does he think about the use of air bricks in modern world things?
Air bricks.
What are air bricks?
We don't use them anymore. That was kind of Victorian architecture. An air brick technically is a brick that goes into the wall that had those holes in them, which doesn't make sense in Johannesburg.
Oh, I get you.
So I think what they might be suggesting is either tiles or breeze blocks, but you could also, I don't know the structure of the roof, but I would definitely put insulation underneath as well. And maybe air bricks on top, just trying to create air.
There's Rachel in Pretoria says, my daughter's in matric and would like to study architecture. Her APS score is lower than the requirement. Is there hope for her? Her passion is interior design. What can you advise Rachel for her daughter?
Study medicine.
What? Is it because it's that hard?
No, look. I love architecture. I don't regret having studied it, but working as an architect, we're very badly paid around the world. Is very poorly paid. But if she's got a passion, she can study interior design. I mean, these big buildings now. When I worked for Paragon, you do interior architecture and architecture because there is so much, and the fields are so big. What she could also do, she could think about studying. For many people who can't get into architecture or medicine or whatever, they often do a 1-year feeder course in something that relates to them. They can start doing the core subjects that they really like, and if they perform really well, they can apply again. Having said, a lot of people want to do medicine, do 2 years of a BSc first. So she could register. There's no shortage of places. I'm surprised at how expensive they are.
Yes.
But she could. In fact, she can email me at marketing@saya.org.za.
We will definitely make sure that you get those details, Rachel. As we close up, we now have like 30 seconds left. I'm so sorry we don't have time to go to the remaining comments and questions. But Hugh, in closing, what would you like to say about South African architecture?
We are very, very dependent on the economy. And on the way here, I was thinking, listening to you guys, that tourism is the biggest driver, a huge driver in South Africa. And we should be promoting architecture that's relating to tourism because it's one of the regions that is growing. And if you want to see me wearing my off-the-shoulder taffeta ball gown, tune in tomorrow night.
There we go.
At the Rand Club.
There we go. And I mean, maybe we are going to have that conversation because there's so many parts around South African architecture. I didn't even get to ask you why it is we never adopted the American style of building with wood. But conversation for another time.
Day.
Managing your finances can feel like juggling one advisor for investments, another for insurance, a lawyer for your wool. But it doesn't have to be that way with Standard Bank Private. Your dedicated private banker supports your day-to-day banking and connects you to a team of specialists from fiduciary and risk planning to offshore investment expertise so that you have one clear view of your finances, working together to grow and protect your wealth, all backed by Africa's largest network of financial planners. Switch to Standard Bank Private today and live wealthier with Africa's best private bank. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
At Specsavers, we're committed to offering affordable and professional eye care. That's why we're offering 1,500 Rand worth of savings with our winter promotion. Get a free frame up to the value of 1,500 Rand or use the 1,500 Rand on one of our leading vision enhancements, like Climate Eyes, which automatically adapts to changing light. To qualify, simply purchase a comprehensive eye examination and prescription frame and lenses. Affordable eye care, Specsavers. T's and C's apply.
I want another puzzle from the crazy store. 1,000 perfect pieces, but then I saw so much more. I got slippers and a blanket to keep me warm at night. Sudoku and a coffee mug and fuzzy socks that fit just right.
That's crazy, crazy. That's the crazy store. Went in for one small thing, came out with so much more.
The crazy store. Hey, you never know what you might find.
To walk the talk is to turn words into meaningful actions. And it's what we at 702 are committed to doing every day. We're also committed to following the rules set out by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission's Code of Conduct. To give you balanced programming, fair comment, and accurate news. But if we stumble along the way and you feel we're not living up to the code, let us know on comment@702.co.za. And if after that you're still not happy, you can direct your complaint in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission, PO Box 412365, Craig Hall 2024. For more, visit bccsa.co.za.
Thank you for joining us on 702 Afternoons. John Perlman is up next, hosting 702 Drive. We are back tomorrow. It's 3 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Alleged shooter in DJ Warra's case remains behind bars, and DA accuses president of delayed tactics in Phala Phala saga. Good afternoon, I'm Zingisa Chirwa. The Johannesburg Magistrate Court has heard that the alleged shooter in the Warwick Stock murder case will remain in prison due to threats against his life. 25-year-old Armindo Pakula was arrested after CCTV footage allegedly placed him at the scene of working alongside the alleged mastermind and co-accused Vincent Majola. The pair face charges of premeditated murder and conspiracy to commit murder, while Pakula also faces an additional charge of being in the country illegally. The accused appeared in court today, where prosecutor Vincent Muchabela said the matter is ready for pre-trial proceedings scheduled for the 18th of June.
Our investigations are complete and therefore should be in terms of Section 75 of the Criminal Procedure Act. The state requests the matter to be transferred to the High Court. The indictments are ready, Your Worship.
The DA says the work of Parliament to prepare for an impeachment hearing over potential misconduct by President Cyril Ramaphosa should not be allowed to stall because of the legal action he launched yesterday. DA parliamentary leader George Mikalakis says by threatening to interdict the process, Ramaphosa would be preventing Parliament from complying with the Constitutional Court order and would amount to delay tactics. In a review application filed in the Western Cape High Court, Ramaphosa said it would be intolerable and a travesty if Parliament is to continue with the process while the legal matter is pending. Ramaphosa wants the court to review a parliamentary report which suggests he may have violated the law over the 2020 theft of foreign currency from his Limpopo farm, Phala Phala. Lindsay Daitlinger reports.
Political parties have until the end of today to submit proposals to a rules subcommittee on how they think an impeachment committee should operate. The DA's George Mikalakis says Parliament must proceed with drawing up the terms of reference for the impeachment hearing in line with the Constitutional Court order that it set up an impeachment committee without delay.
The DA will hold its accountability role seriously and will ensure that Parliament does so without delay at every opportunity.
President Cyril Ramaphosa contends in his court papers that the Section 89 report, which will underpin the work of the committee, is fatally flawed in 4 key aspects. But Mikalakis says the president knows there's still much to be done to put parliamentary processes in place before the hearing itself will commence.
Parliament must be allowed to conduct its oversight and accountability role unobstructed.
He says should the president attempt to interdict the parliamentary proceedings, the result would be damaging to the reputation of Parliament. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
Electricity Minister Josienzo Ramogopa says Eskom's continued dominance in South Africa's power generation allows the utility to show some flexibility to municipalities struggling with debt. Ramogopa was responding to questions around the city of Johannesburg's billions of rands owed to Eskom during the launch of the Letabo solar PV project in the Free State. The minister says he remains confident that the city and its power entity, City Power, will honour their payment agreements. Mongezi Gogo reports.
Johannesburg has faced growing pressure over its electricity debt to Eskom, with concerns that non-payment could place further strain on the country's power system. But Ramogopa says Eskom's position as the country's primary electricity generator means it is still able to work with municipalities while solutions are still being found. He says this is one of the key factors government must consider before fully privatizing electricity generation.
If we're in that dispensation today, so what will be done? Alexander will be done. The wholesale market, I give electricity to an end customer that can pay.
The minister was speaking on the sidelines of Eskom's 75-megawatt solar PV groundbreaking ceremony at the Letabo power station. Mongezi Gogo, Eyewitness News in the Free State.
And the IEC is urging South Africans to register to vote, emphasizing their constitutional right to elect leaders of their choice. The call was made at the launch of the Commission's national local government election campaign in Midrand today. This as the country prepares for local government polls on the 4th of November, a date now formally